My people, our daughter who they call black, now bring the gospel to us. So everybody, know when you get wish, when you get energy, come. So we can sing God's song together. Anybody who get with you, your wish, Russia. If I wait for me, so we can go.
Mr. Emmanuel Gonguoi is the group CSD. Pressure Group calling itself the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, Effl Liberia. He is coming back, guys. I believe the headquarters are going to be getting together to the southeastern side of this beautiful songs, and well, guess we're going to be breaking very shortly.
Hey!
We want to welcome our viewers and good afternoon for tuning in here to the very select. We're going to have this program and my guest and hopefully some of our team of analysts are going to be here. What a beautiful music there from the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Time check here is 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome you this afternoon, this evening, morning, depending on your location. As usual, we always here to have community conversation. And today we'll be having a conversation with Emmanuel Gonguoi. Emmanuel Gonguoi is the head of the group calling itself the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. There are so many liberators, there are so many fighters who claim to be fighting for the motherland. But the authenticity of their fight or the struggle, we have to question that, whether it has been politically motivated or the purpose of it, and how can they stay into this struggle here. We're going to be having, you remember quite recently the lockdown, the group Effl led by Emmanuel Gonguoi, CIC, the guy calling himself, locked down the first branch of government. Almost commensurate with what we saw happen here on January 6th, when the capital was besieged by folks of then supporters of former President Donald J. Trump. Is all this politically motivated? What led to this? What is the future of EFL in Liberia? Why can't they have reform political conversations instead? And I did hear him saying recently on the sister network television, Spoon TV, that they try to radicalize, or they're going to take a radical approach. And you know, I know the connotations, and I wish they were pushing further to explain the context of the to radicalize the group. Hopefully, you're going to be joining me here, and I will have the opportunity to have this sort of dialogue or conversation with him right here on the Liberia Public Radio. Let's get the ball. Okay, the CRC is now joining us here, happening now from Liberia. Okay, time is gradually taken away. Let me go to neighboring to the West African state of the Republic of Liberia, where the guy, EFL, CRC, Emmanuel Gonguoi is standing by. Let me just bring him here. Let's have this conversation. He's no stranger to this network. He's always here, and let's see what's going to happen here this evening. The CRC himself, EFL, Mr. Emmanuel Gonguoi. Good evening and welcome. How are you? I'm not hearing you. Check your microphone.
Good evening, Mr. Zion. How you doing?
Okay, good. Good to have you here. All right. One of the good things I like about you.
Good evening, Mr. Zion. How are you?
Good, good. I'm doing okay. Are you hearing me well? Are you hearing me as well? Emmanuel, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me as well?
Well, I'm not getting you too clear.
Are you not
Yeah,
getting
I'm getting you now.
Okay, let me make sure and get mine.
I'm getting you now.
Okay, great. Okay, good evening and I welcome and thank you for honoring our invitation. It's always good to have you here. How are you doing today?
Well, we're doing good. Very excited about ongoing debate about reforming our countries and everything else. So we're good.
You're good. So I guess you look so comfortable, relaxed. So you are a free man now, correct?
Hello?
Yeah, I'll say, are you a free man now?
Hello?
Can you check your audio system? I'm not sure whether it's coming from me. Can you check
Hello?
that? Yeah, hello? All right. Let me see what if I
Yeah,
can
are
see.
you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you. Are you getting me as well? Okay, let me just take a quick break and see what I can
Yeah,
make
I'm
adjustments.
getting you.
Are you getting me? Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, I'm getting you very clear.
Okay, all
I
right.
hope you're doing the same.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm getting you. I was asking you that you are a free man, correct? You are no longer behind bars. Our understanding.
Well, I would say, yes, I'm a free man, even though we still have some legal proceeding. I was in court today, and I'm told that the case will be reassigned. So we're still going to court and coming back.
Okay, we're going to get to that code because I do have interest, as you know, that's the work we do here, and I love it. You two also forming part of this conversation. What is the status of the EFLL in Liberia now? What is the status of this pressure group, political group? What is the status?
Well, we're still, I would say, a pressure group. We are still a movement because we haven't been certificated by the National Elections Commission. So we still bear that title as a movement. So we are still a movement in Liberia.
A movement is a far left movement that we can also compare with that of the one that is in South Africa. Basically, that's the model you guys follow in Liberia, correct? With your leader Julius Malema.
Yeah, 100% correct.
100% correct. Okay, and I know we have had this conversation before, Mr. Gonguoi, CRC. You are gradually working towards transforming this movement to a political institution, correct?
Yeah, like I've always said, the way in which we are configured as an organization, we are 80% of a movement and just 20% of a political party character. The reason why we are configured in such way is that, I gave you a scenario before that if you want to clean a house, you cannot stay outside of a house to clean a house. It means you have to find your way in a house to clean the house. So the 20% of a political character then allow us to participate in a given elections where members who desire to run for public office can contest. But the character of the institution is, 80% of a movement character. And that is so because we always want to have room where we can collaborate with trade union organizations, with worker union, with different organizations, different political grouping, different civil society organization to push a particular agenda. That's why in South Africa or in Zimbabwe or in Namibia, the EFF in these countries normally collaborate with different organizations to push a particular agenda. That's the reason why you see us normally we say we are of 80%, a movement character and then 20% a political party character. So that is the configuration of our structure. So basically, we're still trying to complete that 20% competence, to allow Liberians in the diaspora who believe in the EFFL ideology or who believe in the African liberation struggle ideology can then find courage, to join the organization and compete on our ticket. The second reason why, we also ensuring that that 20% is completed is because For example, we have a leftist organizations in Liberia, which is campus-based, the Vanguard Student Unification Party, for example, and then young people who practice, a leftist ideology from the University of Liberia. Most time when they come out of the university, they do not have a political home that practice similar ideology. So that's the reason why we are ensuring that we create a home for all the leftists in Liberia. So we are working towards that, and I can say for sure. I mean, if we have a democracy that is respected, if we have an electoral commission that is independent, if we have an electoral commission that is working by the books, this should not be a complicated issue to have us certificated as a political party. But we are working towards that.
So, from what I'm hearing now, you seem to question the credibility of the election commissions. Other parties, other institutions have been satisfied. So, why you think EFLL will be perhaps left along the wayside? Why you should make that guess? Are you there, Mr. Gonguoi? Hello?
Well, I am not at this point. I cannot question. At this point, we cannot question. Hello?
Yeah, I'm
at
hearing
this point, we cannot question the independence of the yeah. At this point, we cannot question the independence of the Electoral Commission. But what we can do is to send out a caveat to say if you are independent enough, then you allow us to have a walkthrough registration process whereby we are included into the political conversation, day-to-day political conversation of our country, as a political organization. So as a stand, we are exercising our constitutional, responsibility as a movement, which we are committed to doing. And that's why, you see also we're aggressive. Now, we will continue that aggressively, even as a political party. Nobody should think that because we have a registration for the National Elections Commission, then it means that, that ability, that power, that zex, to get him moving would then disappear or will vanish. No, we are going to combine, that pressure from the movement perspective and from the political party perspective, to get the advocacy going and rolling in a more, vigorous way.
Talking about advocacy in a vigorous way, is your advocacy is in confinement with the laws of the land?
We have not done anything, and we will not do anything in the future to undermine the constitution of our country, all the laws, that are on the books. We will never do such. All of what we have done in Liberia and continue to do, they are in conformity with the laws of our state. And we will continue to respect that because we want to be leaders tomorrow. And our leadership, we will be compelled to govern by the books. We will be compelled to govern by the law. It is the law that you are going to be guided by. So there's no reason why, as a leader, whether from a political party or from a civil society perspective, that you will be seen as violating the laws of the state. There's no possibility and there's no reason why you should do that. So we will continue to remain in conformity, with the law of our country.
Is that what you're doing right now? In conformity with the laws of the land, is that what you are doing right now, CRC?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you hearing me?
Hello?
Yeah, check your microphone there because I'm getting you clear. I'm asking you in conformity with the land or with the laws of the land.
I mean, everything else we have done, I know you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
I know the basic fundamentally you want to bring about the Capitol building situation. Yeah, I say fundamentally you want to bring about the Capitol building situation. Well, whatever happens at the legislature, You can consider that to be lawful because, the Constitution of our country provided room and provided the space, for citizens to express. And the Constitution did not say how you should express, your grievances, but the Constitution provided space. And, our action can be fairly considered as a democratic actions. And democracy require that there be a form of civil disobedience. So you can exercise or you can express your dissatisfaction through a form of civil disobedience. So I really do not see a situation where we violated the laws of the state. I'm still confused when people think that our action undermines the law. No, we were there to protect the law. And what we did was intended to protect the law, and we will continue to protect the law.
Okay, now I didn't even bring that, so you let the cat out of the bag. Let's make our audience to see exactly whether it was the protection or whether it was an invasion or what else other people like to say were being in danger. So CRC, let's see, I didn't bring that out, you brought it out, so it means you really do have interest for us to have this conversation here. Let's roll the tape here and then we're going to have a conversation. All right, let's watch and see.
Yes, sir, yeah, do that.
Someone put on live.
No, don't wait.
Effl, I'm not buying me.
Okay, let's see here. Let's have a let's have a conversation here. CRC, don't lock it. Put a chain there. Don't put a chain there. Okay, let's establish the authenticity of that tape. Is that your guys there? You are part of that group, CRC?
Listen, we were part of that group. I like the Capitol building. So I was laughing because, I knew that you would come by and say, I like it. No, don't like it. So that's why I was just laughing. So yes, we were part of the group.
So that's the Capitol building there. That's the first branch of government. You once contemplated of going to in the Senate for Mount Gibby County, correct?
Yeah, and we're still making effort to represent the people of Mount Gibby in 2023. So we're still making effort.
Are you there?
I'm here. The internet is bad tonight. So yeah, the internet is bad tonight. Yeah, we are making effort to represent the people in 2023.
Okay. And you are also aware that's the first branch of government.
We are fully aware. As a matter of fact, we know that is the people building, a building that represents our interests. That is not the executive branch of government. That is not the judiciary. It is the people building.
Which also constitutes a portion of the branch of government, right?
Yes, I agree. It constitutes. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, your actions or the action by EFL wouldn't change that. You are also aware that human beings are in there where we disagree with. There could have been an fire hazard, and you have besieged the entire place. That could have led to lives of any situation. Was that any that came to mind when you were carrying out, giving out?
Well, listen. Look. The first thing people need to see or take into consideration is the timing. We went to the legislature around about 6 in the morning. No lawmaker, as a matter of fact, would be in the legislature by 6 a.m. So we were there by 6 a.m. What we wanted to do, we did.
Mr. Gonguoi, that's an invasion. You know, officers are not.
No, that's not. No, that's not an invasion. We wanted to send out a message to our leaders that the Liberian people are suffering. The Liberian people are crying for good leadership. The Liberian people are living miserable life as we speak. We wanted to send a message to our leaders that look at the people who elected you. Mr. Zion, you in America, you are not here. I mean, every God blessing day, there's some sort of rape case being announced. How many budgetary appropriations are we, sending aside to the court to prosecute those who are raping our children, our sisters, our mother? What is the national government doing to address that? Every God blessing day, Mr. Zion, people die from various hospitals across the country for simple diseases that can be killed. What is the government doing? What is the legislature doing to address that? Hundreds of young people graduate from high schools and universities and community colleges every year. No job. As a result, people are languishing in small shop and playing gamble. They're playing winner. Winner now is the only source of job for young people across the country. What are our government doing to address that? There's a whole group of generation that was soon lost because, graduating from university without a job and you're sitting down for 5-6 years and you are only playing winner. You have lost, a time that should be valuable to your life. You have already lost it. Go to the Kerry Street, go to different, what we call intellectual center. You see young people basically sitting down and begging people just to have transportation to go home. What is the government doing, or what are we doing as a country to inspire investors, for people to come to the country and invest, for our young people to have jobs? We needed to send a strong message to our leaders that we are concerned, because this is the legislature, Mr. Zion, that you will write letters, they will never respond to you. You will write them counter letters, they will never respond. You will call the speaker, he will never pick up the phone to say, I'm concerned. You will call the president, they will never answer. What do you want the people to do? If you have leaders who cannot respond to call, who cannot respond to text messages, you write them, they cannot respond to you, what do you want the people to do? So this is why we say, okay, let us send out a clear message in different tone, in line with democratic tendencies. So what we did is supported by democratic value. It's supported by democratic principles. So there's not something, that is out of the law, that we went, we attempted murdering people and people want to exaggerate and make it so big. We just intended sending out messages to our leaders so that they are aware that there are challenges out there and our people are suffering. So we just elevated a message of millions of other people who are sitting down in their homes, grieving. They do not have access to their leaders. They cannot come to the legislature to vent out their anger. So we simply did, for millions of people what they could not afford to do for themselves.
Okay, I listen to you. Okay, and I agree in the sense of frustration that when leaders are not listening to the people, I have my own reservation when we're calling it. But I, with due respect, your action. So let me start from the home from here. You are a Mangibi. The constitutions also provides that when there is anything that potentially have any issue with your lawmaker, all you have to do is to rally signatures. But your action to lock down the first branch of government itself, that's a security concern. You endanger the lives of the people. So let me ask you, let me start from home front, Mount Gibeon, to where you reside, where you potentially could contest for a seat. Is your lawmaker in Mount Gibeon, are any of them violated the constitutions that warrant them to be removed from Capitol Hill?
A lot of the lawmakers, whether in McGibby or in Grand
Let's,
Gila or in
let's start.
Maryland,
Yeah, let's start with.
I'm saying
I want to start with Mount Gibeon first. Answer my question. Has any of your
the
lawmakers?
fact, the fact that the, the fact that our lawmakers in McGibby receive 15,000 slash $30,000, which we consider unconstitutional and unlawful, are a warrant their removal from power.
A warrant, yeah, what?
So your answer, a warrant that warrant their removal, a warrant that impeachment from the legislature.
Yeah, but there is a process involved, and that's what I have concern with. There's a process involved in impeachment. I am not in favor. I have frowned on
Yeah,
that.
so you have to
Yeah, but
you have to go collect 10,000. You
there are
have to
two
go collect.
there are two things involved. You are the same people that elected those people and sent them on Capitol Hill. You guys are the same people from one party to another party, forming
Mhm.
solidarity with this party. You are now we are in the process. I think what
Mm.
is wise for these oppositions and these pressure group to be doing that is to have a genuine conversation and feel like what the EFL did in South Africa. What happens to their leader? They did everything possible they can, and he's in parliament and advocating for change. But it is not happening in our country. Oppositions are flipping over from one party to party with a lot of deception. And that's just being disingenuous to the rest of the Liberian people who also want to see a genuine transformation. But a genuine transformation must come with civility. You cannot lock down the Capitol building. That's not a solution. What have you
And
achieved in that?
I like when you I like when you said the EFF in South Africa is the leaders is in parliament advocating for the people. Great, great that you know about the EFF set up in Africa. Now, when we attempted, going to the legislature, and a lot of Liberians said, "Oh, you started off as a pressure group, now you want to go to the legislature," and I said to myself, you know, how do we fix the problem when we sit on the fence? It is against this backdrop that I have always said, to many other Liberians who are out there in the diaspora locally, I've always said to them, look, can we come together? Those of us who see, the situations in Liberia differently, those of you who have traveled, you have seen life, you know how people doing it in different countries. Can you come back home? Can all of us just forget about the whole issue of the dual citizenship and blah, 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 and come back home, unite, in a form where we can individually compete, for the different seats and be able to help our people? Can we do that? We have always sent our XOL call to Liberians in the diaspora. Come back home, because I agree with you. People flip flop from one political party to another. They jump this one, they jump this one, they jump the one. Yeah, and sometimes, as soon as we have become victim of this situation. As soon as we issue critical statement and say, this is not how we provide hope for the people as opposition, the next thing people in the opposition will say, oh, the EFF has become compromised. Because people do not want to be told the truth.
Hold on right there.
I come in. I come in. People do not appreciate to be told the truth. So every time we try to say the truth, and say we cannot be in opposition at the same time providing discomfort to our people about a governance, about a future governance situation. Then people say we are compromised. All right. So I mean, it's a difficult situation with Liberia because the gullibility of the society. You have to understand that as well. Now, but it is also your responsibility, Mr. Zion. It is your responsibility because you have a platform. Liberians take up their
That's what
time,
I'm having a
both
conversation
in
right
the
now.
diaspora. Yeah, both in the diaspora and back home. Liberians take up their time to listen to your podcast, to listen to the radio, your interview. We all should take off at least 30 minutes of our time on a different platform to begin educating Liberians on the kinds of value they need to see in individuals that are vying for public offices before electing them to public offices. We need to do that because the more we educate our people, the more we provide civic education, the more we provide guardians, the better it is for us to be able to transition, for the current political space to a better, environment where governance will be at the front, integrity in governance will be at the front. Every other things about our leadership will be at the front, and we will be respected, among the community of nations. So we need to do that. So it cannot just be about the pressure group in Liberia that we take on the responsibility to educate the citizen. I mean, you have a very big platform. You have reporters across the country. Every single Liberian should take up the responsibility to provide that civic education so Liberians can fundamentally understand why they go to vote. People just see going to vote, Mr. Zion. They see that as like a merrymaking. People vote in Liberia because of T-shirt. People vote in Liberia because somebody built hand pump in that community and they see the person as a humanitarian. We are quick to elect people on the basis of the person being humanitarian.
CRC, let me hold you right there. It's not a roller skating platform here, so we're here to engage. Okay, I've been joined by my colleague from the Sacramento Bureau, the Liberal Progressive. I don't know how this is going to play out here now. And you are outlining your point, but here is my own frustration as a Liberian. I don't even know the authenticity of these pressure groups in Liberia, not to even mention this political group. More or less I see as a social group because they don't have an agenda. They don't engage the issues. They don't talk on issues of substance. They range insult. No, seriously. This is troubling, and this is why people don't take us serious. They range insult. I want to see these political leaders, the pressure group, meeting ECOWAS leader, explaining, catalyzing these issues that are confronting the nation. Do you think I'm not aware what is happening? But if the pressure group and the oppositions or those who want to take power, if they can set themselves apart, how will you feel when I come walk in Mount Gibby there and say, okay, Emmanuel Gonguoi is not doing what he's supposed to be doing in your house, and besiege your entire house and lock your gate? Am I finding a solution? I must call you. I must engage you. Why can't you guys put a Kennedys? Why can't you guys explain what the Liberian people needs to hear and challenge these people that are in state power? 2023 is right here. But guess what? The same very people that were dragged into the very opposition group of people, they send them to Capitol Hill. They are not dining and whining with the same very CDC that we all frown on of bad policy. So I told you before about being ideological. I said part of the reason why you see these things happen is because fundamentally we are not ideological. When you become ideological, you will conform yourself to your ideological understandings and belief. You will not want to jump gun. You will not want to jump from one political institution to another, from one belief to another. I give you an example. Now, we were confronted with issues in 2020 for which we could not have contested the elections. Now, because of that issues, we decided that we would take a decision, and that decision would be in line with our guiding principles. I could not see myself wearing another party emblems and campaigning with another party emblems. I could not see myself doing that. So we decided to keep ourselves committed. Yeah, so you compromise your ideology, CRC. You supported Joseph Boyka, correct? No. In the last election, you supported Joseph Boyka, correct?
No, I supported Joe Boyka, but back then, I was not CRC. I was just Emmanuel Gonguoi, very vocal, very engaged in the public
It doesn't
space.
matter.
So
It doesn't matter. So, do you regret that incident? Do you regret your support, even though you
no,
were
no, no,
not
no,
serious?
no.
You regret
I
your
can
support?
never. No, why should I regret my support? I supported integrity and competence over non-competence and a group of people without any semblance of hope that they would have demonstrated leadership. So why should I regret? I have no regret. I supported Joe Biden, in 2017 elections because, you know, I was convicted that he would have been a better choice for Liberia as compared to having a George Weah presidency that I considered a miscarriage, at the time. And exactly what we saw, for which we considered a George Weah presidency as a miscarriage, is what we are seeing right now. George Weah's administration has become a nightmare, for the people. There's no practical, example of leadership that you can point to. So I cannot say I'm regretting my action.
Can you, before I go to the liberal progressive, will you repeat that come 2023? Will you still support Joseph Boyka?
Look, and there were people sometimes say I'm a little bit radical and sometimes I want to talk politics. No, this one is not politics. I am fundamentally a part of the economic freedom fighters of Liberia. To make a support decision in 2023, the Central Revolutionary Council, the Governing Council, and the National People's Assembly will have to make that decision. So that decision is not my decision. I cannot make a unilateral decision to say I'm supporting this candidate. The decision as to who we support for president, squarely lies in the hands of the CRC, the Governing Council, and the National People's Assembly.
Okay, well, folks, with us is the CRC of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia. Emmanuel Gonguoi is joining us here in the conversation. I've been joined by the most liberal progressive on this network from the Sacramento Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. The liberal, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. So, and also welcome the CIC, of course. So we really appreciate you coming back on Liberia Public Radio. As I counted today, I believe you have appeared on the platform more than 2 times. And so I think
multiple times. He can't
yes,
even remember
yes,
that. He's a good friend of Lpr.
That's right. And so we respect you and we admire your work. And so whatever that I'm about to say is with due respect. There's no question marks. I know I'm older than you, but the fact that you have sacrificed a lot to be in a leadership position, we respect you and we will obey and respect whatever it is you're doing. Quite frankly, sir, I think you have embarrassed us. You have disgraced us. Those of us that follow you and admire you and respect you. Your action the last time was very disgraceful. And I'm saying that with all respect. I don't mean it in any kinds of demeaning way, but first thing as a Liberian, and second, someone who admire your leadership ability to lead the young people. I'm from Town, Grand Juda County, so I'm not any kinds of a civilized or quick person. Let's put it that way. Back home, those days, they have 2 types of warriors. There are warriors that will talk and lead in the talking, and there are warriors that will not say anything except to be violent, and they are recognized for that. What you displayed the last time, it was very confusing for me, because listen to what you're saying here, and people who are listening to you. You explain well, you speak well, your explanation of the issue, your understanding of the issue is on reproach. Nobody can question that. But for you to sit there and carry on what I consider to be a violent act, it is completely, no, seriously, it is completely baffling to me, and it's a disgraceful act, because some of us were looking up to people like you to lead our young people. You have the CDC that you're saying they're not doing a good job or what have you. So some of us were counting on men like you to truly challenge them intellectually, not physical challenge. The lawmaker place that you went to lock their door, these people were duly elected, even if their action it's unacceptable to you. They were duly elected. You cannot go and violate anybody's rights by you locking that gate. By you locking that gate, you have also put these people's lives in danger. Why, if there was a fire, how did they get out? These are things, and then you're a very intelligent person. You know these things. So CIC, I think one of the things that you did, and especially going to jail, is the same old behavior that I thought you have helping to eradicate in Liberia. That is, you have people who want to be recognized, go to jail, then they say they want to be something else. I thought you passed that stage. You're somebody who was recognized internationally. People in South Africa recognize you. All over the world, people recognize you. You didn't have to stoop down low. And I think for you, a person of a character like that, to behave the way you behave, it was very shameful. And I just want to say, as somebody who admires your behavior, I will hope that you will come out publicly. Don't stand behind that and apologize to the intellectual and even every Liberian, because this is not a behavior from a youth. That's my take on this, yes, sir.
Okay, usually I'm surprised to see this liberal. That's the most liberal on this network here. He just got disconnected. We will see. Hopefully he joins all here. Liberal, you seem to be going out of the rail here. That's very unusual.
Oh, Mr. So, I always stand here and support these young people, because for him, as intelligent as he is, let's be truthful, as intelligent as he is, he could go to any part of the world and make decent living. He didn't have to stay in the mud of Liberia. He didn't have to stay over there and go through what he's going through. So we appreciate those kinds of behavior. But for you, if, for example, if you were somebody who was unable to explain himself, if you were somebody who was unable to engage other political actors, then you can say, but this is a guy that can go anywhere, and the platform, any kinds of platform in Liberia, will be willing to have them to come and explain to the people what exactly is happening. But for him to take on that action, the action which is violent in its nature, this is unacceptable. He's also, young people in Liberia follows him, and he's very, very much in command of the English language. This is what really getting me a little bit off balance, Mr. So, because to have young men like this, who is now people looking up to them to speak for them, and then for him to come out and lock the gate because he have no other alternative, I don't believe that. I believe he does. He can come out like Liberian Public Radio and explain himself why these people are taking that kinds of money. First of all, these elected officials, even if they put money in the budget that they don't deserve, they were elected. You can't say you're arguing that you're advocating for Liberians, but yet still you want to disrespect the Liberian people's decision of electing people. If you think somebody is not qualified to run against them. You can't come out here and lock the gate and expect the liberal to come and support that kind of behavior. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, that's liberal. Hopefully, Emmanuel going to join us. We're going to also, as usual, we always include. Okay, let me see here. I think maybe to my having via the phone. I think he has a problem with his internet. Just hold on 1 second. If you can just carry on the talking point, he's sending me a message here, and we'll also. I thought you're going to be coming back. Let's see here if it is possible that we can have him back. That would be also good. Okay, so in the meantime, let me just put the number here. But when he's on the phone now, then we will not be able to have him on here.
It's Mr. So this is not, he's not the only person that have done these kinds of stuff. Many of these educated, young educated Liberians that want to be noticed go through this route. This is not the way to go. I believe that someone who has the, first of all, you have the English language as your command. You can speak, you speak well, you explain well. You don't have to explain in different dialects so that people will understand. Emmanuel, right now, if you want, you can go, okay, right, my man, I go back into Liberian English and we all can go into that. No, and he will win the debate. He has engaged other people before, Mr. So, and he's very much in command of the debate most of the time. Why would he go that route of locking the gate of the Capitol building? That building is not just the people that are serving. That building represents all of us, our common interest. And we want to make sure that we have institutions that are respected. And you, as a CIC, freedom fighter, economic freedom fighter, and you're going to be seen publicly as locking the gate of freedom, and this is what you want the liberal to support? I don't think so. I hope he comes back. And with all due respect, I'm not saying this. He doesn't know me. I'm not saying it from jealousy. I'm not saying it from envious. I'm not saying it as a way to degrade him. As I said before, and I will say again many times, he's been on his platform, Mr. So, and I've been out here praising him whenever he comes out. I mean, I'm on record. So if for me to come here now and so much of eating crow, I don't mind that. But I must be truthful. I must be truthful to our audience.
All right. Let me take this.
And we don't do anything like that.
Let me take this phone call here quickly for Kamal here, and while we try to make a connection. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. So.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm calling you from Cedar Rapids.
Cedar Rapids. Yeah.
How you doing too?
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
How are you this afternoon?
Okay, I just tuned in. I forgot my alarm on this identical topic today. I really wanted to listen to Cic Gonguoi. Okay. But anyway, I hope he comes back. But I just want to say something to the Liberal Progressive before I go further. Just a little caution, to some of the things he said. Not caution, right? That's not the right word. Just to, tell you.
That's okay. You know me. I can take anything.
Don't respect the young people. They don't respect us. If we put them in power, they don't listen to us. The first example I will carry to the University of Liberia. They brought about e-learning program when the university students are not ready and there's no facility to back that particular program. The young people came out and said, we don't think it's necessary now. There are a lot of things that need to be put in place. They never listen until the guys were on the street. In Liberia, our leaders do not listen to our call. Today, we're all crying for how they call it, ambulance, fire service, and other stuff. Our leaders don't listen. So for me, if I'm in Liberia, I'm going to join Cic Gonguoi, we're going to knock the entire Capitol building down. It's just that they were small in number. But if they are going to be like 1,000 or 2,000 plus, or maybe 10,000, those guys are going to be serious. Look at what happened in Kakatan. We spent $30,000 on each lawmaker. $30,000 combined, every one of them close to $3.something million. In Kakatan City does not have an ambulance or even a fire service truck. They had to go way fire soon. And because of that frustration, I just read from the people that young people were stoning the fire service truck that came from fire soon to help them with that fire disaster. Are you kidding me, Mr. Toll? We are frustrated with you guys. So if I were there, I wish they're going to be like 10 or 20,000 young people just lock that whole entire Capitol building down until they can give us back our money. So, we can say all the things we can talk about.
Kamo, this is what I hate. This sort of a short lifespan approach to finding solution in the country is just not been working. Where is the billion bring back our money? How many times they have not done this? It has not worked, and it will not. I'm coming. It has not worked, and it will not work. So why not we take a long-term approach? And the saddest thing is some of these same very people who were yearning and crying for, where are they? Most of them, they are also on Capitol Hill today. What is happening? So I think it is time for us to checkmate ourselves and look at people that even to really want to represent us. How long?
The reason, I don't want to say much because I really want Father Gonguoi when he comes back. But the reason why some of the things are not.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the reason some of the things are not happening. But if the young people in Liberia are united, the thing that happening in Liberia won't be happening. We are
So now there's a divided role here, and let's be honest here. There are a lot of stuff.
But last before I go, I would like to say here, I'm not saying it because I'm advocating for violence, but our country history.
But Cameron, you just, if you leave, you're gonna have to listen then.
Social justice, economic freedom, all that stuff. These are things that Emmanuel Gonguoi and they are fighting for. You know, the approach might be bad in other people's eyes, but people are frustrated and people are tired. How long will we be sitting? You know, everything we debate. You know how many attire centers they have across Monrovia and other part of Liberia? They have so many debate centers.
Those are play people go there and go take in alcohol and do all sort of things. That's not where the national conversation is supposed to be. Then it comes back to these irresponsible people that we have elected, and those are the people who put there. Then people who want to take this sort of liberation cause, there must be a different approach. Okay, let me see. I think Gonguoi is calling on WhatsApp, so I got to let you guys go here. Hello? 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 Okay, let me see. Let me just let you guys go here. Yeah. Let me just call him here. Just bear with me. That's the number is ringing. Hopefully, hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you, Mr. Zion.
Okay. All right. Just work on your 77 number. I'm not sure, and I'll send you a text. Okay, but if you want to be on the phone, that's okay. We wanted to have people calling in as well. But I sent you a message on your 77 number. You got it?
Yeah, I saw the message. Number 7. This is the current. Just so thank you.
No,
okay.
Your number that I usually send a message where you say you forgot, and I did send a message.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just seen it.
You want to try that because so we have people maybe that will call to, they will have their own thought. You want to try that to see whether you want to count or you want to just stay on the phone?
Yeah, I can try that.
Okay,
let me try that quickly.
Okay, just work on that, and then you can join the video for son. Okay, so Mr. Soul, while he's trying it, let me respond to my little brother Kamoon. Nat, I mean, the point here is this: you want to build a country. We're coming from a civil war. This country is in your hand as young people. Yes. Can we get the audience reaction and then we can do it? Because let me just respond to this young man quick. You know how he is with us. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about him because other people still want to come. You're gonna. Oh, I know that, but he's very special for us. You know that, Mr. So. Do you have a special? Now you want us to fall apart now. That's how we do it. But we can fall apart. Yeah, but because he's also embedded with liberal idea. That's why you're learning with him. Well. Not only that, but what the reason I want to respond to this young man, because he's always there to give us. Okay, don't worry. Go to this 3-1 here number, and then we can do that. Because who knows? Maybe people are coming with. Go ahead. Okay. 3-1 phone number to 0461. Good afternoon. What's your name and where you calling from?
Honorable, so this is Azat. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Azat. Welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. An American activist called Rachel Marsden said, every person or people, let's just say, have the right to do anything they want. Is it anything they want to do in a free and a democratic society? But until their actions infringe on the freedom of others, then the government has the right to step in. So the legislature did something that was wrong. We agree. But if you also go back and do another action that is also wrong, then the law will come out to you. So the government was not wrong for going after Effl for blocking the gate. Now, what will happen if the government had not acted? Say, oh yeah, the people have right to do it. So they want to lock the gate. The next day, they're going to even set the mansion on fire. Or maybe we got to say this: the UL is underfunded. We're not getting what we're supposed to get at the UL. They're going to set the UL on fire. So they should understand this. Even if our institutions are not right.
Let's make it brief as possible we can, because other call coming in, so that because Emmanuel has joined. Okay, hurry it up. Go ahead quickly. Our guest is back, so we can do that.
Okay. So if even our institutions are not good, or they are not worthy, the Father will set them up. Always try them. So what I'm saying in short is that do not take action in your hand. Go to the law.
Okay.
And not taking the action into your hand. If the law is not trusted, keep trying it. It will be built up to be better.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Let me go to my man here at 774 number 7611. Are you there, caller?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Son?
Yeah. How are you? Welcome.
Not too bad, man. You guys having a discussion, and it's nice to follow the discussion. But I want to say this. Obviously, let me be very unequivocal from the start. There's nobody should take the law in their own hand. It's wrong. We understand that. But let's be realistic here. If you have a situation in the country where young men have absolutely no future, their entire livelihood is being strangulated by corrupt officials, they have no other alternative. What do you expect from them? We have a country where if most of us did not come to this country, we will be in equal position. We come to this country and sometimes we speak to them as though they should just sit there and continue to die. I'm not insinuating that any one of you guys are doing this, but you have to understand the condition. Our young men are becoming zogos. Our young ladies are becoming prostitutes. The condition in the country is extremely dire, and we expect them to do nothing. Do you know why Boko Haram exists in Nigeria? Do you know why some of these countries have these forces? It's the very conditions that we allow to fester in Liberia. That's what happened in this other country. These men are desperate. But here's another thing. We in the diaspora, we are not shouldering our fair share of the burden in Liberia. We're expecting the people that are least capable to transform the situations in the country to take on the mantle. It is not fair to them. The country is not doing what they're supposed to do. Yes, it is okay to talk. These talk shows are important, but we need to do more. Liberia is literally dying, and these young men are dying with Liberia. Where is their future? That's my position. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. That's Omenduaro Talker. We're being joined by our special guest, CRC, Mr. Cic Emmanuel Gonguoi from the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. CRC, welcome.
Well, thank you. Sorry that we have to hang off due to internet situation, but thank God it's back.
Okay.
Now, I listened to your co-host. I listened to your co-host, the Liberal Progressive. Liberal Progressive. Honestly, I respect your opinion, but hear my counter out. This is a counter. You said the legislature is the people building, but Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution, is clear about we the people constituting the government to our satisfaction, that every government constituted should operate to our satisfaction. Now, here we are, like the caller who just left the line said, here we are. Our generation, and you people, we have to be very honest to us. Here we are, our generation is the wartime generation. Oh, I'm coming. Our generation is a wartime generation. We did not have the opportunity, to experience. We did not have the opportunity to experience better education from our youth days. We were on our parents' shoulder, running from one village to another because of war. Some of us left from the war. We came back to Monrovia. We struggled our way through by selling cold water, by working for people, cutting grass, just to be who we are now. Not every single person will have the same energy to do what we did to get to where we are. So hundreds of other young people, they are there languaging. If you go to the prison compound, for example, my experience, look, the prison compound is almost like you're living in hell. Hundreds of pre-trial detainees at the prison compound. 99.9% of those pre-trial detainees, they are all young people from I would say from 18 to somewhere around 35 to 40. 99.9% of the people at the prison compound, young people. What are they there? A lot of them being arrested because of theft of property, because they armed rob somebody, because why are these? Look, I sat down with them in cell. I was asking them, I mean, why it is that you guys live in the way you live in? And every other thing you hear from people, but where is the opportunity to be, brother? What do you think we're going to do? See, I see what you want us to do. I will go into jail. The children knew that I will go in there because the message I already hit the prison compound that I will go in. So the children knew when I entered the compound, oh, our leader is here, our leader is here. So I have to take my time to have conversation with them about why are they living the life they live in. See the food they give our children. So I'm just trying to tell you, look, a liberal progressive, the situations in Liberia is horrible. The governance situations in Liberia is purely horrible. Every God blessing there. See what is happening. Go across the country, you're from Grand Gile. I don't know even if the hospitals in Totan, the government hospitals in Totan, perhaps, they don't even have one paracetamol to give to anybody who is ill in Totan. We have a challenging situation across the country. In other nations, people take stronger decisions than what we did. In other countries, people take stronger measures. I remember there's a supermarket in South Africa, a racist supermarket that could not allow black people to go and buy. The supermarket restricted her customer to the white race. I remember CRC, Julius Malema, and the rest of the other people. They went there and locked up the supermarket. And today that supermarket is open to everybody. Sometimes when you talk and talk and talk and your leader do not listen, then you have to do something that will draw their attention. I continue to say, what we did, we created a platform for our leaders to be concerned that the Liberian people who elected them are not happy with the governance situation in our country. All right. The second reason why we locked that place, and perhaps you people are not interested to elevate that debate, is that look,
we are having a conversation. Other than that,
yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. We have a legislature. The Liberian people been protesting. We have protested them many times, asking the government of Liberia, the government, when I say the government, the entire government, meaning the executive and the legislature coming together, to implement the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report as a medium to, let's say, minimize or to mitigate any form of growing impunity in our country or to end impunity in our country. The government has not taken interest. The president went to the UN, made a very beautiful statement, came to RRA, changed his position statement. Today in our country, war laws are celebrated and they are considered to be a political decision maker. So during elections, progressive, you will I mean, fundamentally agree with me. During elections, we rely on the war law support to endorse presidential candidates so that they win because the war laws are still holding grip, to the people. So we rely on our support. So now, I do not believe, and get me clear, I do not believe that we will change Liberia with a kind of attitude where we are not interested in any impunity. We are not interested in fighting corruption. There's no specific court established in Liberia to deal with corruption. Look at from Mississippi era. All the reports that should be going to the legislature for public hearing. We have hundreds of other reports sitting down. Nothing is being done. We are not prosecuting corruption cases.
Let's have a conversation.
So we needed to take a stronger political decision to send a clear message to our leaders that we are concerned about what is happening in the country and we need action. And that's what we did. So I don't see where we went wrong. We just needed to show that message, and we have sent that message out, and they are concerned. Let's see what they will have a change of attitude. But guess what? They are not even considering changing the attitude. The lawmakers are increasing that district, budget. I don't know how we go to all of these budget. They are increasing our district budget.
Yeah, that's what I come into with this new budget. But this is what, interestingly, this is what somebody is saying here, Mr. Ty James Koya. Pressure groups shouldn't be formed with the intention to take power. Do you agree with this comment?
Listen, from day one, we made a mission statement And you can go to our Facebook page, you can go to our website. We say we were in 100% compliance with the funding manifesto of the EFF in South Africa. 100%. So you cannot compare us to the rest of the other organizations of pressure groups in the country. No, we are political. We are political oriented organization.
So explain to me here.
So sometimes.
No, explain to me here. In your recent interview on the Spoon Network, I did hear you saying a radical group, or you want to radicalize people. Is that a right word? Words that you used recently?
Yeah, you can radicalize the mind of the people on the particular subject matter. So how do we intend to radicalize the people? We're looking at the young generation that's coming up after us. Most of the young people do not understand fundamentally what governance is. They do not understand. All they see is elections coming, we go to vote, and we
how do you
vote
go
this
about
person.
to create a conversation? When somebody don't understand something, how do you go about to create a conversation?
We sit with people. We go to gathering. We sit with young people. From 12 to 18, we sit with them. We hear them out because those in the 12, from 12 to 18, they are the potential, first-time voter people talk about. So if you're 16 years old, in 2023, already you're going to be 18 years old, so you're going to participate in the democratic process. So we want to then understand what it is that you are looking for in the leader that you'll be voting as a first-time voter. And most of them will say, me, if anybody can just give me $5, I just take that money and eat it and just vote for. So people, the interest of going to the pool is if I can get something to put in my pocket, then I will vote the person. Whoever I want to vote for, I'll vote. So people are not seeing, going to elections and voting people as a civil responsibility. That we as citizens, should be able to exercise. They don't see that as our responsibility. They see that as a form of commercial activities where they get something to put in our pocket. So the radicalization we're talking about is that we want to ensure that in every school, that there's an EFF established in every school where young people, almost like a press club. Maybe when you guys were growing up, you did a press club in a very high school. So almost like a press club where we can write leaflets, we can write different releases, we can write, different things, newsletter, sent to these different, clubs in a different school, about like civics, about our constitution, so that young people begin to read and begin to see things from different perspectives and begin to take a patriotic posture instead of, seeing,
so let me
participating in voting process just, from the perspective of getting money to put in our pocket. That's the radicalization we were talking about. When you do that, you educate them to the point where, come with your question.
Before I bring in the liberal here, this is my own apprehensions with the whole pressure group opposition, because everything seems to be centralized right there in Monrovia. And I do understand Monrovia is the seat, but also bear in mind, by winning Masoreto County does not make you the president of the Republic of Liberia. How effective these pressure groups, such as the EFL, other pressure groups, or oppositions with outside of Monrovia, these other countries that are so vulnerable with a lot of young people, how effective are these people in terms of the conversation? Because most of these things I observe is like a short-term approach. These politicians and oppositions are doing because they want people to hear it. They are not having the genuine and honest conversation. Why people should change their direction, why people should change course. I'm not sure whether that conversation is being kept. Do you think that conversation? Do you think that conversation is in place? Telling them the functionalities of government, telling them that if you elect senators, you elect representatives, the consequences involved, telling them, hey, because that's how it's all about persuasion. If you have your senator, you have a representative there that is being elected, he or she does not even have a local office. He or she is not interacting with the people. During recess, they sit down in Monrovia, and these things are not tackled from the grassroots. And you think you just want to use power saw to cut that? That's not going to work, because that's how it looks. And the same very people, at the end of the day, the politicians get right into their middle and dislodge them by applying financial violence means and create confusion. The COP, we saw then the breakaway faction. They can't even come to a common consensus. So how you left us vulnerable? These opposition,
no,
these
no, 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 no,
left
no,
us
no,
vulnerable
no,
to not to understand a lot
no,
of
no,
things that we need to understand.
no. I would not say we left you people vulnerable. No, 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 no. I would not say that. But let's get this. For example, the EFF is structured in the different counties. We have chat room for different counties. But to what extent are we having conversation?
See, when last you took a tour when last you took a county tour to strengthen your membership?
We have not gone to the rest of the other counties, but the chairman has made some visits. In fact, as I speak to you, the chairman just left from Grand Jude County. He's back in Monrovia. So there are a couple of visits that the chairman has been able to, to make across the country. Unless me, who only stopped in Banga, and then Majibi, and then Bomi. Then I went to Bapulu. Yes, those are the counties that I visited so far. No, now let me say this. To say that the pressure groupings are leaving, I don't believe so. The pressure groupings are engaging. The pressure groupings are the civil society organization. You go to every county, you will see a form of civil society, local civil society organization office. But let me say the reason why our people, the reason why the young people, the older people, they do not see electioneering processes as they used to see before is because Zion, right now, we have omitted civics, from the constitution, from the curriculum. So no more people teaching civics in school. When I was growing up, I read civics in school as part of the curriculum. But now you go to school, you don't see civics. So many of the young people do not understand, why and how, they should engage the democratic process. And that's why you see the missing link. That's why people are electing, just any kind of person to go to the legislature. People go to the legislature without even understanding their responsibility and their core value, and their obligation to the citizen, because we are no more teaching civics in school. That's why we have consistently said, look, all of you who got radio shows, internet programs that conduct interview, help us as well. Form a part of a national obligation. You can form a part of a national responsibility. Let us educate the citizen because people are here viewing, people are here listening. You can form part of a civic education. Let's educate our people, then bring them on par. So that 2023, we go to the elections electing people with substance. We don't elect people who don't understand why they are there. So you also have a responsibility.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to say this to you again, with all due respect, sir. I think my frustration level has just been amplified by you coming back with a beautiful, beautiful explanation. You have now, once again, exactly what I'm saying, that you do have the ability to engage, fully engage, without any kinds of hesitation of who you engage in, because you do have the command of the subject matter that is going to be discussed. This is what I'm frustrated about. This is where my frustration comes from, because you just told us that you are already going into all over Liberia, going to these subdivisions and trying to explain to them what exactly the governing process is supposed to be. This is who I've always thought that you have the ability to do. And so I was frustrated. And I think a young man called earlier, and also many of the young people agree with you. And I don't blame you either, because you can't just sit there. When you left, one of the things that I was saying, with your ability in the educational level, you could have gone any part of the world and make good living, decent, good living than any other young people in Liberia. But yet still you decide to stay right there, mosquito infested area, where you don't even know whether you're going to survive tomorrow or what have you. But yet still you decide to stay there. And this is what I'm saying. If you decide you're going to do this, let us do this and divorce ourselves from any kinds of violence, any act that will even be little minute act that will be presented as violent. Here's the thing here you just told us, that you are engaged with these young people. There are young people that follow you. There are young people that look up to you. For us, especially for me as a liberal, these kinds of things, I respect the young people that come out to explain to the people. And you can do that effectively with no any kinds of issue with it. But for you to say my frustration level with these people have taken over, then what is your understanding of the leadership that you're trying to do? Where is the process of someone who is composed, able to withstand the heat? These people, I told you already, these people were elected. I don't like their behavior, but I think these people can also be brought to book intellectually, and you can even do that by exposing them through the international process, because you know what to do. However, I agree with you that sometimes talking, our people don't understand it. But I'm saying to you, this is exactly what happened during the war, because people got too tired talking. We can't stop talking. I can't come out here and praise something that I consider to be violent. Then I'll be defeating myself as a liberal. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just saying to you, I'm not here to disrespect you. I admire your work, but I'm just saying to you, you have the ability. Please utilize that ability effectively by educating the young people, sir.
Let me go to the Constitution State here. Let's see whether there's a violation. From Connecticut here, this number, 203 number. Kara, good evening. What's your name?
Thank you, brother. So my name is Wilton Keda from the Shawaka Show. And I'm listening to the Labor Progressive, and I'm listening to Mr. Gonguoi. It is unfortunate that we have a tendency not to learn from the past. The advocacy in Liberia has always been personal to whoever brings it. It has never been something that benefited the entire country. To the extent today, we are yes talking about our problem in Liberia from the day of the progressive to today's date. We can just name all these different events that happen in the country. And people will say, oh, the progressive did this one have multi-party and all that. What are the things that we are benefiting from in Liberia now from those things? Let me tell you something, Mr. Gonguoi. To be ambitious, right? I have not seen any true advocacy in Liberia since, I don't know when. Because, yes, that Mr. Gonguoi, who is a leader of the economic freedom fighter, someone saw that and trying to change to a political party. What? What for? If you listen to the leader, Patrick Lumumba, what he said, Africans get into government to corrupt, to steal. If you want to make a change, you don't have to be in government to make that change. You got a group called Economic Freedom Fighters. You have people in our country illegally taking our natural resources, diamond, gold, going Chipman. They are there. Why you don't mobilize your people to go over there, demonstrate, and see if will not support you? You don't have to be a political or man to make a change. Because as far as concerned, they are a bunch of criminals. But fight for what you believe in. But we come with the idea that, oh, we have people and later on, we can see straight through you guys that only because of power. Be a pure good liberator.
You are wrong.
You fight for your people.
You are wrong.
Go bomb country, go Nima, where the people illegally taking our resources. They're taking it. You gotta wait for government. Go there. Show to the people that you're patriotic, that you won't fight for economic or your economic freedom fighter, because the things they're taking from over there should benefit Liberia. You never go Ghana and go fishing in the people water in Ghana. We're all getting paper. You can't even do it, so they will kill you. Before I say go on that gold mine to go dig gold. You got Ghanaians.
Okay.
Sierra Leoneans.
All right.
Go there.
No, so let me just correct you a little bit.
Let me of the Constitution.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me go back to him. CRC, are you there?
Yeah. So let me respond to him very quickly. Listen. The first thing you need to know before you question people, you gotta question institution. You firstly need to see their funding manifesto. You need to read about their configuration, how are they structured? For what reason are they structured? We are modeled 100% around the founding manifesto of the EFF in South Africa. Where is the EFF in South Africa? They are in the parliament, the one we call the national legislature. They are in the parliament. So the first thing you got to look at our founding manifesto before you question us as to whether we just wanted to come into permanent to seek political power or whether we were organizing, for a different, reason. So the EFF in South Africa did not start as a movement. The EFF started as, a political party, 20% political party orientation and 80% a movement character. So, and that's how they've been living. So in South Africa, you found Julius Malema and the rest of the lot of young comrades, Bobby Wine, and Bobby Wine leading the young comrades in Uganda. It is never wrong for you to come to politics as a liberator. It's never wrong because the policy decision you actually every day will never change until you find yourself at the legislature. I gave you an example. We were protesting before the legislature that do not remove cabinet general. It is unconstitutional. We protested, we sang, we danced. But at the end of the day, the decision to remove cabinet general lies in the hands of the legislature. What did they do? They removed cabinet general with all the letter we wrote, with all the protests. I mean, they claimed a petition, the protesting people, they came to our side, But at the end of the day, they remove him. All right, they remove him. We are talking about World and Economic Crime Court. We are protesting. We have protested almost 3 times before the legislature. We have petitioned the legislature, petitioned the U.S. Embassy, for example. What is happening? The lawmakers are rather signing a transitional justice commission in place of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Look, our leaders do not listen. Our leaders do not appreciate Liberians going to the legislature to peacefully assemble to say, look, we are uncomfortable with what you are doing. They don't listen. Once there's something to put in a pocket, once there's some, cash that can come from the executive to go in a pocket, they are comfortable. They will make that decision. So, I mean, yeah, people can have the right. People can have the right to say, in different forms, our action was violent. But I can say this to you: our action was not violent. We needed to send a stronger message. What we did was a stronger message. We sent out a stronger message. Now they have to be concerned, that if the people can come to do this, the anger to take them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, can we go ahead quickly now? Go to Mr. Amos George.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. Mr. Gonguoi, I want to say thank you, my brother. You are giving the information that we need to hear in the diaspora, especially me. First of all, I want to say to the last caller that just left it now, he said that we should go to places where people have money, gold, illegally, we should protest, we should demonstrate. But you forget to know that if we go there, he'll be the same person coming on the line and say we are taking the law in our hands. You see, Mr. Gonguoi, we are supporting you 100%. If I ain't like, bro, I'm going to be with you, we're going to lock that building up. The incident he just gave, we supported you guys. You protested the last time the Capitol building, the cabinet general shouldn't be impeached. Our lawmakers deliberately refused to listen to us, and they went ahead and they impeached that brother. What happened today? The brother took them to the Effl court. The Effl court found that it was illegal, and they asked the Liberian government to pay a certain amount of money. They brought disgrace to our country. We talk about TRC. They are still doing the same thing. They are not going to take arms. We're going to keep pressuring them. We're going to keep pressuring them until we can find the right people at our building. And please, let it be known today. Pressure groups are formed to bring change, whether economically or politically. That's the reason pressure groups are formed for. Liberia today is not Liberia in the 90s, where Prince Johnson and Rapoto arms. Today, we'll be discussing the issue on talk show at the Senate brother in Liberia, be engaging them on the feed. So, Emmanuel Gonguoi, thank you so much. We are supporting you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, voice, there's common views expressed will facilitate this conversation, but they in no form or shape represent the management and staff of Liberia Public Radio. We have our contributor on the line here, Amos George. Mr. George, are you there?
Yeah. How you doing, so?
Good. Welcome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got a question for the CDRC. He said that the action they took the last time to black the capital was justifiable, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to ask you the first question here. which part of the Constitution gave you that right to lock up public buildings at the sound of protest? And if you are doing so, what is the example you're setting for the young people as a good leader? Because I grew up during the age of Marcus Martin. Protest here was never that level. And if you can incite any part of the Constitution that gave you that right, that when you are protesting, you can lock up public buildings. If you're excited for me, I will be very happy. Thank you. I'm following the conversation.
Yeah, okay.
Well, you're asking for constitutional provision. You're asking for constitutional provision. And I said initially, Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution is a very powerful article that allows us to change a government and says that we are the one who alter the government. So how do you interpret altering the government? So Article 1 only saying to us clearly that if we elected the government today and we feel uncomfortable, we can come back together as people to protest and make sure that our government leaves power. It's just simple and elementary explanation of Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. It's that the power is inherent in the people. All power. It did not say some power. It's that all power is inherent in the people. So we acted in line with Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. I continue to say. The second thing is that there's no way in the Constitution that the Constitution lay out the way we have to express our dissatisfaction. The Constitution did not say when you're protesting, don't walk on the quota, you should fly or go in the sea. No, the Constitution gave us the right as Liberians to disagree with our government in any form and manner. All right. So what we did, I continue to say, is backed by Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. I don't know how many times should I quote Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. When the Constitution gave us the power, no other guidance we have other than Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. But again, look, Mr. Zion, I continue to see some people talk about, violent. Look, if you want to know people who are even more violent and creating psychologically violent situations, then you have to look at our leaders' attitude. Because they are creating psychological trauma for us. So sit in Liberia, where you go to hospital, there's no medication for our people. Children are getting raped every day and there's no good medical care for them. Look, government officials, civil servants are going to work and working 30 months, no pay. Don't you think it's psychologically intimidating? And it's a problem for our people? You're working for 30 good months, you can't take pay. How do you send your children to school? How do you feel your people? I mean, people living on credit, people living on begging, but yet they are in the government. And they feel good for people building mansions, and they can't take pay. How do you think our people will understand? How do you think they will feel? So it is a government that is supporting violence, and not us who feel aggrieved. That we, like you rightly said, we live in a country where, everywhere there's mosquito. Mosquito bite people, they get typhoid, they get malaria, and they run to hospital, no hospital. No medication. The big building is standing there, but no medication. The medical workers that are there, they don't even take pay. How do you think people feel? You go to your hospital, you're ill, you run to hospital, thinking that you're going to have medication to come back home. Unfortunately, you get there, you can't see anything. I will continue to say this. Go to Domba hospitals in Banga, for example. Go to the Rene hospital that just got burned. Sorry for situation. Go to some of the hospitals across the country. You will not find medicine for our people. So, the government is provoking follow action. And Article 1 allows us, if we are not certified to replace the government in any civil disobedient manner, that we can exercise to replace the government. We can do a protest that can bring the whole government down. It is acceptable democratically. So I don't see where, our action is violent, because we can bring the whole government down in a minute. With a collective citizen action, we can bring the government down, and it is supported by the Constitution of Liberia. Okay, so I don't see why people want to equate our action to civil disobedience, and that, I mean, to insurrection, that argument was on Spuntor. I mean, it was defeated. There's not any form of insurrection. I mean, we acted lawfully, and like I said, you want to be a leader of a country, you don't want to be seen violating the law. So we will carefully walk the path of the law. We will be very meticulous about how we want to go. Yeah, but at the same time, we will be very radical. At the same time, while we walk in the path of the law to ensure that we do not violate the constitution of our country and violate the laws of our country, we will also be radical in the sense that we will introduce what they call the compel compliant theory. The compel compliant theory is what we will introduce to allow our leaders to see, how our people are suffering across the country. Young people, somebody talk about Zogo. Young people go all across the city. You see all the ghetto shop everywhere. These young people who came out of war, Mr. Zion, they don't have job. Some of them ride motorbike. Some of them beg their friend to ride motorbike just to have something in their pocket to go home. The economic situations in the country is horrible. No job, no investment. The private sector is fundamentally dead. There's the private sector is in a dire functioning state. Look,
and let me just say,
we have a problem. So,
there, hold on 1 second. Let me go to George, and then we'll respond. But George, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me ask Gonguoi. You were citing the Constitution, Article 1, but there's no provision in the Article 1 that tells you that if you force to remove your government, so you are distorting the Constitution. You want to be honest? Read the whole Article 1. It tells you the power are inherent within the people. If they say they unhappiness, if they have certified with, they are dissatisfied with that, there is a procedure they use. They did not mention using force. And what people did there, I get it. It was force.
So how many procedures? So let's have a debate on an article. What the procedure they name? Just tell us the procedure. Say you have the Constitution before you.
People. I know maybe you might be a constitutional scholar, but if you read it out, it's not applicable to what you people did. And we talk about freedom, the movement, freedom movement. We saw all that the king, the nonviolent movement in America. It did not go that way. But you are justifying that action to say that you people have to use some force, and it's not force. Mr. Gonguoi, I strongly disagree with you. I empathize with all what you are saying, but the action you people took the last time, it was force. Okay. And it was illegal. So let's get that right. If you want, you can cite the whole Constitution. Tell me what provision it gave you to lock up building. That's my point I'm making to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that will be the debate. Yeah, we keep talking about this. And
Look, so I know you are articulating your point, but it's sort of a selective or calculative eye, people going into the constitutions and picking out special, doing that sort of cherry picking. Let me say this because it's applicable to me. I think that is just way over the top. And again, the opposition, the pressure group, if there's no any specific unique ways to create a discourse, it will be difficult. We'll come back here. CDC did it. They thought they became forceful with Helen Johnson Sirleaf. They came to power. There's no plan, as far as I'm concerned. There's no strategic plan also coming from the opposition right now as to how they're going to downsize even government. The same group that create this group, what they call battle crowds, is the same thing you people or some of you people are doing right now without them telling us as to what's going to be the outcome of these people when they to even come to state power today.
Mr. Cho.
Again, if there's no genuine conversation to twist the minds of these people going to this state, starting from maybe from your own place there, how to actually engage these lawmakers and make them to understand and have that conversation of their constitutional obligation. It's gonna be better because all of these people, it's all about their parties. They don't put the interests of the country first. You send you send there right now. Yeah, we're talking first and foremost. We all have even problem. There are little basic things that needs to be changed. Why would somebody go to the Senate for 9 years, for 6 years, and all of that? When will your son or your daughter even have that opportunity to take state power? So there are things that we're supposed to even twist to make these people, because that's part of it. You put them for 9 years, they do all sort of things that they want to do, get all the money, enrich themselves, and when the 9 year in the 8 year, they bring a little portion of it and give it back to those same people. Then why all your effort goes in vain? So the minds of those people in the streets, the minds of these young generations who more or less have the vote to give it to these people, there must be a strategic conversation with these people. Other than that, CRC, we come right back here again. And we come right back here to talk the same thing here after 2023. Something to go ahead.
Yeah, well, let me just say this here. People are talking about the Constitution and what have you, and the young man, as I said, the only fault that I have with him is his intellectual level, based on the fact that just the conversation we're having with him is too high to put himself to that level. That's the only complaint that I have. But as far as thinking and talking about the Constitution, he has the right. And the Constitution has so many articles. Any of us can look into the Constitution, because none of us is lawyer, can look in the Constitution, this Constitution support, this particular part of the Constitution support my claim. It left with the arbiter of the Constitution, those who interpreted law, the Constitution, to come and disagree with him. So by him saying that the Article 1 gave him the right to do whatever, and this is what the article says: all power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by the authority and for the benefit, and they have the right to alter. So the Constitution did not say how you alter. The Constitution did not say you alter through the red side or the black. It said alter. And we know what alter. Mr. So, hold on 1 minute. We know what alter is. So if this man is saying my Constitution says alter and it's made for put lock on the gate, I, Samson Toh, would say no. I consider that a violence. But
there should be protection on rights. There should be putting the interest of the Labrador people. There should be more against the interest of the Labrador people. How can few people, 100 few people will just come, and just get whatever salary they want, because they can put it, nobody can go against it. The people will go against it. And now it has started.
Why not? We lack this money.
Okay, we lack this money. Why you didn't go there 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock? You went there 6 o'clock in the morning.
Look, so you see, going there 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the kind of violent engagement. I continue to say to people, we were simply sending message. So you see how intelligent we are. We knew that by going 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, there would have been some violent occurrences. So to avoid that, we say, okay, since we simply want to send a message, let us go early in the morning, where they are still home, and then we pull a lock on the building. So we went early in the morning to avoid. Yeah.
Well, only one security man.
No. There were a few security deployed. The eve of our operation, we went there, so we knew how many security. Normally, the people were deployed around the legislature from the Senate side, from Jalatan side. How many security they will deploy. So we knew. Then I said, to the team, we also have to be mindful of the COVID-19, health protocol, because let the government be the one to always violate the health protocol. But those of us in opposition, that'll be very mindful, how we deal with the health protocol. So let us have a little bit of, numbers, that will overpower the security. So what we did was that, we deployed 5 to 1, so we deployed around the legislature, and then when they realized that we were lacking the Jalatan side of the national legislature, the manpower from the executive, executive mansion side reduced because they were done run.
How many men you took there?
Well, I will not tell you. Once again, I will not tell you how many men, but I can tell you we
100?
No. We were not over 100, but we deployed 5 to 1. We did 5 to 1. 5 to 1.
How many criminals? How many?
And they were like 15. They were like 15 security at the legislature. So we did 5 to 1.
And how many EFL prospectors?
So 5 to 1. 5 to 1.
45.
So we 45%. So we just deployed along the Jalatan side of the Capitol building. So when the force left the executive mansion side, running to the Jalatan side, those of us who went to the executive mansion side, which is the main entrance we wanted to lock, we succeeded in our tactics. So because we drew their attention to the Jalatan side of the legislature. So while they were running, we too started running on the other side. So we succeeded in reducing that number.
That's a complete guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, we reduced that number and then locked the Capitol building. So look, the reason why we did that because we wanted.
What next now? You lack it, the money, after lacking it, they apportion another 15K to themselves. The new budget again now is going over the roof. What next? What's the next strategy?
Well, I mean, like I said, we have two options. We took 3 options. We took the first options, and the very huge public support, even though some people disagree with us, but that was the first option. The second option is that can we go to court with the legislature on this number of constitutional violations? So we are looking at that option. The third option is, can we organize a mass citizen actions, to protest and show to the world that our lawmakers are so corrupt and that the government of Liberia is so corrupt? Can we once again organize a mass citizen action? So we still have 2 options available to us. So we are looking at that. We have a team of legal people who are looking at all the different constitutional violations. Then we will sit down and analyze it and see how we can take on the national legislature.
Prior to that action, the legal teams, were they consulted?
Prior to the actions?
Yeah, you had a consultation with the legal team?
That's what I'm saying. We have the 3 options. We executed the first one without going deeper with our legal team.
So it was your advice.
The first option was completely a revolutionary, way of sending out a message. We've done that already. That was the first way of sending out a stronger message. So we designed that whole strategy to send out a strong message to our leader, and we have done that already. The second option now, we have to bring the legal people on the table because we're talking about lawsuit if possible. Now, you cannot go to lawsuit without having all the legal instrument before you. So we have a team of economists, who are looking at the budget. They're reviewing the budget. They're looking at the public financial management law, the PMC. They're looking at the law. They're looking at the violations. Because there are too many violations. The PMC law called for regular budget performance report. The economic management team of the country is now presenting a regular budget performance report to the legislature, and they should as enshrined in the public financial management law. So there are too many, constitutional violations, statute violations. So we want to challenge, if possible, go to court based on the advice of our legal people. Now,
Okay.
if the legal people come by and say no, the civil disobedience aspect will be, the way to go. Then, in as soon as possible time, we're going to announce mass citizen actions, that will take on, like, we did with June 7 and all of that. So we are weighing different options.
Okay. Let me go to the Bay State of Massachusetts, where our contributor, Mr. Jackson, is standing by. Mr. Jackson, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Hearing you.
Okay, thank you for appearing on LPR. Let me just start off by saying, I empathize with you, especially you and the young people in Liberia. If you look at your future, I can clearly say, that it's bleak. And I don't know how some of y'all will make it, in 10 to 15 years' time. I know somebody who graduated from LU. He has not getting job. He is 45 years old. And I don't know, by the time he get job, 15 years, he will be 60, he will be out of, and labor market. But let me just say, what have you done, with your EFF to educate Liberians, about the draft budget? And the reason I ask is that if you listen to Nyombli Kanga recently, she said that the budget had been manipulated a couple of times. And my advocacy is let the budget go out, let people know about it. And if you're an economic freedom fighter, what can you do to start educating people about that?
Okay, let me just go to him. We'll soon be wrapping all here. Yeah,
Well,
all right.
thank you, and I will take you. I would take. Yeah, I will take you back a little bit. I remember vividly during Mrs. Sally era, there was something launched called the Open Budget Initiative. I think Unity Party administration did that. An Open Budget Initiative. Now they put a big billboard right to the finance ministry and place the budget right on that electronic billboard so everybody can read. Sometimes people stand there 2 hours reading from the budget. That was a very beautiful initiative. Yet and still people could still manipulate the budget. So Yomli is right. The current administration, we have a department in the Economic Freedom Fighter called the Economic Department, the Economic Command. The responsibility of the Economic Command is to always look at the budget. But many times, you see the budget in this fashion at the legislature. As soon as the legislatures agree on the budget, that budget returned to the executive. The budget is manipulated, and the budget will return in different fashion. But the people who are the ways, means, and finance in the both legislature, they are the one who compromise most of the information along with the speaker and the pro tem. So no matter how you want to educate people about the budget, you still find the budget being manipulated in many forms. But like I said, this requires a whole new holistic national approach. We have to treat this situation as a national responsibility. It can be a situation where one group of people or one organization will just take on the initiative to say, let's go educate the citizen. All of us who can read between the lines, should be able to find a way, find a meaning, whether it is through our Facebook pages or whether it is through phone call on different shows. We need to delegate our time to educating our people regarding the governance situation in the country. We also need to compel the Ministry of Education. We are writing the Ministry of Education that please introduce civics into the national curriculum once again. Because with civics being introduced, basically people, the young people will be able to understand what their civic responsibility are and how they should view the government. They will start learning governance from that perspective, and they could also help our country move forward in terms of educating our people. But to be a country where we are not teaching civics, most of our young people do not understand, the function of a lawmaker. If you go to public places, you ask, well, what is the function of a lawmaker? The only thing they tell you is oversight, lawmaking, and representation. Now, if you ask them to break that down, they will start to slaughter because they don't even understand, what oversight is, what representation is, and what lawmaking is. So I mean, we will do our best as economic freedom fighters to educate people on the different. That's what we are the only structures in Liberia that has the economic command, the teachers command. We have religious command because we want to bring the society together. All these different commands, that we put together. We have student command. People who are looking at student-related issues and talking about, student-related issues. What are affecting our school population? How young people are coping with the school system. We have that command, dealing with education-related issues along with the teachers command. So we find a way in investing into different structures to bring the society together, so that we can have a holistic engagement on how we educate our people. But it's going to take a long while, because we just started making all these reforms in the institution.
Okay, all right, Mr. Jackson. Thank you so much. We're gonna be going. Let me go to Libra, and then we're gonna be wrapping out here very shortly. The Liberal Progressive.
Yes, Mr. So I think once again the young man has just captivated my mind again tonight, and I think he.
You changed now?
No, I'm not. No, Mr. So, but he has that ability. This is the problem that I have, and most of the time when he's come on, because I tend to, even though I came on firing stuff, but I knew very well that when I come, in fact, I talked to you, but I said once that man comes and start explaining, things gonna be on a different scale, because his way of talking, his way of explaining himself is so effective, and this is why I feel so disappointed to see him at that level, because he has the ability to convince, he has the ability to put forth his argument. And this is what I thought perhaps. But then again, many of the young people that you heard tonight, Mr. So, are saying enough talking, but we can't stop talking. And I think if he's like he said, this is just an idea of trying to engage in a way to bring their attention, attract their attention. So yeah, but I still say let's find way that we can have engagement, positive engagement, and because Liberia is the only home we have, and we cannot afford to go back into that again. So, CRC, I want to thank you again tonight for a wonderful explanation, Mr. So. Thank you for the opportunity, and I will say good night to all of you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Before you go, Mr. Gonguoi, CRC, thank you for honoring our invitation. This is not your first time, second, third, and there are a lot of good things in you when it comes to having that sort of temperament, how to navigate through the process, even when you are pushed against the wall. And I think that's one of the cardinal stars within the leader. Most of our people, they have a temperament issue. They react on their emotion because they can't just hold within. You can't be a leader. And I think for the most part, I have followed your activities. Even when it's ugly, you laugh about it. That's the way to create that sort of political satire and kind of dilute the A and figure out how to respond. But we just hope. But I can say, locking down public facility, especially the first branch of government, we are also frustrated with these endless protests that can you end them to resolve, especially after the protests. And what do they hope to achieve? There is no strategic plan. We saw June 7, other places. Besides even engaging the Liberian community, the civil society, there are other people within the diplomatic enclave. Are you guys really making this point? Are you guys taking that time? Are they giving that sort of political tolerance to have this conversation if it so requires? Look, Gaddafi said there is no successful revolutions without a bloodshed. That is a price has to be paid. Am I saying somebody should go lay their life down? That's not what I'm saying. There are sacrifices involved. You can meet the ECOWAS, you can meet the EU people. It don't necessarily have to be in Liberia. And channel your grievances. Look, this is what's going on, and be able to make that argument. You are invested time, energy, human resources, and capacity, and you don't want to see it going down. But this is why it's happening. Most of our politicians and these advocates, they don't do that. If they think that by acting on emotion, or you want to get a sign beat of the people out there, you're not going to get a result. And you are a young person, more or less listening person. We just want people do all you can, because we went through this route before, this sort of civil disobedience, and try to do it forcibly. And there is always a counter reaction. And at the end of the day, we just don't go nowhere. It throws our back. But I think it is now time to have this sort of constructive engagement with the electorates, because they are the people eventually they're going to act. They're going to send these people back, Capitol Hill. So then where are you today? So if you spend less time engaging them, telling them the consequences, what we are experiencing today, it is their creation. And if you can't have that mindset, if you can't change that narrative, then I would just say all of your efforts and those who haven't making those sort of good effort will just get us to the point. And lastly, before you're closing, some of us are so sick and tired of these politicians who were in a unity party. Unity party collapsed. Helen Johnson Sirleaf did not do anything to make unity party functional. It collapsed. They ran to CDC. After CDC again, they're going to, all the Liberty Party people, they empty, they're going to CDC. All the other people, they empty, they're going to, so I'm saying the fact, and that's why you don't like to hear. Because, and here the CRC knows what I'm talking about. These people are just unable to fix something that is spoiled. So they want an easy way through. So they left the problem in their party. They carry on. The next time again, they will come in. We can't be in a sort of vicious cycle like this. We can't. And I don't think that's where you want to put yourself in the middle of these disingenuous politicians. Go ahead. I hear him say, well, woman paid and I fire him from LPP. I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting to get that report, but I'm hearing those news coming here. This is a guy who left Unity Party in turmoil and gone to Samson to Joseph Boyka and gone to Kasena. Hallelujah. Kasena gave him a back key. Where he coming to now? Were you Liberty Party were taking? So these people, they're not authentic. No, they are not authentic. So we need a real generational change. I don't know what are if you register as a party, or if not, what are Effl will also be looking out for potential Liberians, regardless of their political affiliation. But those credible people with distinct character, as what they can go into. Is that something you're going to be investing your time, putting your time in to find qualified, competent, honest people to also encourage them, regardless whether they are even member of the EFL, or do I have to be a member of EFL before you can give your support? Okay, I think the internet is having problem. Let me just get him off here and see. Hopefully, it will settle down. Okay, he gone off. All right, Labra, I know you are going in pain, flipping off for whatever reason. I don't know,
Mr. So. I'm not here this Monday afternoon to try to raise my pressure. The fact that you're saying things that are not quite on par with my knowledge of the opposition. We, the opposition, we are here and we're staying, whether you like it or not. We're going to dislodge this government peacefully, that is. Mr. So, in order for you to be in opposition, it is not your responsibility to lead the government. The government was already elected. The government has been elected. I mean, nothing else we can do. However, for you to come out here and every other time, any opportunity you get, you're going to try to dig into the flesh of the opposition. Mr. So, let me just tell you this. Mr. So, Mr. So, let me just tell you.
You want state power. You want to
Mr. So, whether we want state power or not does not mean that you're going to come here on your platform.
I have to check all of, no exception.
Mr. So, the opposition are genuine, the opposition are truthful, the opposition are transparent, the opposition is the best thing that Liberia got going for them right now. So for you to sit here, instead of you praising Dr. Bakai, who is going to be your next president of the Republic.
Bring back my or bring our 30,000 back. Okay,
well, he's back.
CRC, make your closing comment. I know it's a little bit late inside Liberia. What's your final departing word?
Well, let me say thanks to you and the Progressive for the nice conversation we had tonight. I always like the Progressive, giving his independent opinion, and that's what makes your show unique. Like the spoon thought, because you have 3-4 different people contributing, towards the discussion. It's good. Keep it up. I just want to say thank you to Liberians who viewed and commented on the live feed. I just want to say we will continue to make you proud. We will not disappoint you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, that's the voice of the CRC, of the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia, Mr. Emmanuel Gonguoi from the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you so much, CRC, and we will talk to you as soon as we can.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, here we go. Here I'm left with the most liberal on this network. So, liberal, well,
so as you know,
make sure you always get your pressure medicine before you come.
Mr. So, as you know, because of my presence again tonight, the CDC professor ran away, the central right ran away, and they left you with me. And so I just feel bad for you tonight. I just feel bad, and I will take it easy with you because I like to take on three of you, and then as usual, I will come on top as a winner. But then tonight we'll just let you have.
So who declare you winner now?
Mr. So, what make you think that I'm not a winner of whatever conversation we have?
I haven't seen any tweet here say Liberal won. So who declare you winner?
I declare myself a winner, Mr. So, if you don't mind. But here's a thing that I want you to take. I want you to take out of this here: the fact that the CIE, the CIC is here tonight. This is for me as a older person. It gives me some sort of a sense of relief that the good days of Liberia is still ahead. You heard most of these young people tonight vehemently disagreeing with me. My own little brother Nakamu is vehemently disagreeing with me. In fact, he said if I was in Liberia, I was going to join him. These young people are getting tired. They're getting tired. You know, you can't just continue like see you go in a jailhouse. All the people many of them young people. Where do you expect these young people to go? How do they vent their frustration? Sooner or later, it's going to be terrible. And this is what I'm trying for us not to get to that point. And I think the government would do better to engage the young people from time to time. Don't wait. And here's another thing I want to point out before you leave, Mr. So. The president went to Kagata, I think today.
Mm-hmm.
They missed the mark. And I'm going to say it again publicly. They missed the mark. The president going to a place where the hospital caught on fire yesterday. And many of the people that were there to assist were all young people. But who did the president go to meet today? People coming up with their Zoshay, and all the old people coming in with chicken. Is that what the president is going for? He's supposed to go down there and engage the young people. First thing, tell the young people, thank you for sacrificing. This is what we want in this country. But who did he meet? He met with all the chief and the people that they were not even there to help to put out the fire. When you go to these kinds of places, especially in this kinds of situations, in my opinion, the president should have met with the young people, first of all, to say thank you to the young people. Instead, what did he do? He went over there and there was a white chicken with some old people with their chief gown and up. Is that what you're going to do to us? Now you got these young people. And look, when you view the video, Mr. So, you will find in the perimeters, you will find they have the young people, those that were fighting the fire yesterday, they're now being pushed back far away from the leader himself. And these are kinds of things the president should have recognized. To say, no, I want to talk to these young people. Let them be in the front. Because they fought yesterday fighting this fire. You heard that young man yesterday sweating. He said, I got a call. I was somewhere else. And I come running. Because they have interest in there. And how do you continue to generate that interest? By engaging them. The old people, just like something to you go engage, they're able to lift a zinc set or even water before they put on fire. You come to go engage the old people. Now, because the president showing up, they're all coming over there. And if you look at that, that's an embarrassing video. I just want to point that out, Mr. So that was a very embarrassing video. And these are things the president needs to stay away from most of the time. And I will continue to say that.
Okay, that's the voice of the liberal. I think, and I'm quite sure the local. In fact, I will be hosting the superintendent of Mount Gibby County here. We are working on that, and our correspondent Moses did a great job. I also brought in the footage. I thought they were brought some of those young people who were there to also kind of contain the flame, but like you rightfully said, they were pushed back, and that's part of lack of political tolerance. You have to engage. That would be a big score. Brought those guys and put aside those too much of security protocols and give people half-five guys your thank you, even though the structure is where it happened, but it not being you, it was being flat on the ground. That will kind of energize it and also build out your own association with the young generation that has the largest demographic when it comes to the vote in the country. But that did not happen. That's what we are talking about. Politicians are short-sighted. They are not far-sighted. So sometimes they just act on emotion. But I think that was a good.
But it's not Dr. Weir. It is not with Dr. Weir. It is the people that are advising Dr. Weir. Dr. Weir has he see way ahead of time.
This is what you do. This is what you do.
Mr. So you can't just say he's not just your normal politician.
What are you talking about? He's not a normal politician.
He's not your regular politician. He is a politician that engaged for the future, except for those that continue to advise him, giving him wrong information.
So now you see, this is where some of your ridiculous comments I can.
Yeah, Mr. So whatever you characterize
you're trying to this thing. So are you saying actions that this administration should be taking? If he's not doing it, we are not going to hold him responsible. We are telling people. I didn't elect Archibald Bona. I didn't elect Charles Bright.
Mr. So let me tell you something. Hold on. Before you go on, maybe I'm giving you more ammunition.
No.
Do you remember Bill Barr? Bill Barr came to Donald Trump. You know how he got that? He wrote a letter and saying that the president will not be prosecuted. And he wrote a long 2-page letter. Immediately after that, what did they do? They hire him. And I'm saying here tonight that the president is a wonderful. No, Mr. So. I'm being ridiculous right now. But no, seriously, the president, on a very serious note, the president sometimes allowed these people to stage manage him so much that they allow his popularity to go out of touch. This man, if he had gone to the Kagata place yesterday and invited 1 or 2 people from the young people to say these are our representatives and have that conversation, I think would have been better off, Mr.
The idea is not so much of yesterday happened so rushed. Then no, that's not what I'm talking about. But he's showing up today. That was he towards Mount Gibby, the site going down to Water Street was to get a first-hand information. What next? That's the whole thing. And who the people that they interact. You know, these people, they have their sort of protocol. But again, for you to suggest that okay, they're not people who manage the president is an adult. So to have people like, first of all, Emmanuel Shaw, that's a wrong pick. To have Charles Bright, that's a wrong pick.
But then why will you not give the president some sort of a leeway here this evening? He's our president. Give him a leeway and see if he's not able to redeem himself.
It's not a matter of giving a leeway. I'm confronting the issue at hand right now. You're giving away, but you say it is these people here. Who brought these people here? It is he, the one that brought in to help. So when you are in charge, you bring in folks around you that will be able to make informed decisions, that sometimes will be able to tell you things. But that has been the traditions of Africa, not just only Liberia. That has been the situation. All that we are even discussing here today. Tomorrow, when the coin flips around, it's going to be a different thing.
I agree. They're gonna do exactly what they do.
They're gonna be even worse. They will see themselves as a Goliath who fought the battle, and they are won the battle, and so they will do everything possibly they can to protect their jobs as well.
I agree.
That's what's happening.
I agree.
Well, thank God. Thank God you agree. So
I'm agreeing not because your conservative ideas overwhelm me. Far from it. I'm agreeing with you just a little tiny bit, and just because you
agreement.
No. We got to qualify that.
Don't draw back your statement.
No. We got to qualify my agreement. We're going to qualify, Mr. I'm qualifying my agreement because you now traveling the liberal way. That's why I agree a little bit. So I got to qualify that. I'm not. You're not dragging me to the far right. Far from it. So I'm just qualifying that.
I will leave you with these words. You want to be a man? Be a man. You want to be a dog? Be a dog. You want to be a cat? Be a cat. You can't be dog cat. You can have it both ways. And that's the positions you always find yourself in.
Just remember also, Mr. So, we're in America, where freedom reigns, where I have the right to say whoever and whatever that I want to be. I don't expect you to agree with me. That's okay. But I am a liberal. I give you the opportunity to disagree with me. I even encourage you to disagree because that's the liberal way. I'm not here to be dislodged by you and the center right and the CDC professor because you guys think the liberal is here and therefore we're going to bring him our way. That statement yesterday that the CDC professor made that I'm getting ready. I Samson told from Toad Town is getting ready to go CDC way. I'm not going nowhere.
We have you on record.
I'm not going CDC way. I'm a Liberty Party USA.
Can I play that audio right now?
No, you can't play it. Because it was a liquor talk. It was a liquor talk. What's
that one thing that pan went off. Okay, guys. Look, the liberals.
Mr. So we're having fun. We're having fun. Thank you very much.
We want to thank Emmanuel Gonguoi, the CRC of the Economic Freedom Fighter. I mean, there's a lot to be done in Liberia. We just want these politicians and those that are in the advocacy business to do it with honesty for the good of the country. That's what we want. Let them take a long-term, not just on a short-term approach, long-term, short-term, depending what is unfolding. So the Liberal, I want to thank you so much. And to our guests, our viewers and followers, your comments, your tweet, again, whatever I say on this network is not in any form, shape, represent the management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio, but we do facilitate. Harris, good evening. You're sending a strong voice of the Alternative National Congress. I'm waiting for your political leader to come here. I want to know his economic plan as well.
Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Lord, help me let it go. Help me let it go. Yeah, let it go, yeah. Let it go. Help me let it go. Master Jesus, let it go. Yeah, me let it go. Go, 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 go. Oh, let it go. I'm tired, let it go. Give it all to Jesus. Let him take control. Just sit and watch it. I know it hurts you, and I know it's painful. No way to wait, so you have to let it go. Your best friend is not your secret enemies. Let it go. Your wife is getting married to another man.
That one, but nobody can let it go. I don't care what you do. What kind of glad goes on you saying forget it? They will scatter that wedding by way.
I've seen let it go.
Oh, man.
If someone overlook you because you live in zero, if they insult you because you don't have nobody, if you say you will continue to be a zogo, if you say you will continue to be a prostitute, if you say you will continue to be a beggar, you will not marry, you will not bear your own children.
Well, folks, that's how we're going to leave here this evening. I'm Afonso Zayansot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We have to, I don't know what we did to the old man or we ourselves, so we need to check ourselves. We need to pray for that country because this is just, these things that is happening, they are all sickness. I mean, we have to pray and we have to do it in a very honest fashion. It is troubling. To see the directions of our country, how it's going, and even people who also are trying to come to state power, they have to come forth clean as well, because these were the conversations that didn't take place the last time around and get us to be where we are today. So they have to come clean here. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening, and by God's willing, we're going to be back here same time, same station for more fascinating. Let me take you to the southeastern side as we wind up into this program.
Do what you a true God. Yes. You always hear me when I say my prayer with few words. But
all right, let's see this here. Let's see this here. Okay, let's see this program. All right, let's just close the deal for this evening. We'll be back here by God's willings. Let's keep praying for our country, for better Liberia.
Yeah, so everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises with no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days. Better days, money in the pockets. Oh, as a holidays. Holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days. Better days, money in your pockets. Oh, as a holidays. Holidays only for the bosses. The bosses. The bosses. Oh, yo. Hey, what about the children? What about the people?
Welcome to Fiber King of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She had really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hand ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen. On 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome.